Hello you guys, welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are in this crazy world. Now, these couple topics are a little bit crazy, and I don't even know how to feel about it, like especially the first one because I've already made a video on it previously, and that is me talking about Carlee Russell. And I was really trying to hold out waiting to do like another video because I was thinking there was going to be some other details that would come out to validate these claims of what happened with the supposed alleged literally kidnapping off of the side of the road, the toddler being spotted, her being potentially trafficked, all of this stuff. And I'm just like, why now do we continue to hear more and more claims of this situation being possibly fraudulent? And I want to say possibly because I'm still not sure my dang on self. There's so many different stories and theories that have been coming out about Carlee Russell and what went down and what didn't went down and her motive and her mindset. There's been so much. So I kind of want to get into that, look at it a little bit more to understand, but it makes me upset because there was so much attention given, and like that's the first time I've seen that happen to like a black woman, black girl, where like so much attention was given so fast, and I think it's excellent. But now it puts us in a situation where hopefully, forbid, like next time some shit happens like that, it may not be taken as seriously, and that's why we can't have these fraudulent claims happen, because it affects future shit for people who actually have stuff going on with them. Now, I do want to say, like, I think that in this situation, I don't know if it was malicious. I'm not sure of that. They're saying that Carlee has a lot of mental things going on. There was potentially like a breakup, some cheating with the boyfriend. I'm telling y'all, theories as to why she did this and another, and her mental state might not have been in the right place. I can't say at this point that it was maliciously done. However, some of like her search records have come up. It's just a whole mess. So we'll get into that a little bit, and then also I want to talk about Dan fucking Wooten, because I'm seeing all this shit about a man with whom could not close his mouth about anybody, but then in the background you have all types of bullshit and skeletons going on with yourself, and you want to sit up and act like you're about to shed a tear and fucking cry. What's the deal? What's the deal? And it's just, you are a bully to so many people, Mr. Dan motherfucking Wooten, and you want to sit up and do the things that they're saying that you've done? And isn't it so interesting that AH just seems to consistently have these people around her and or working with her or this, that, and other with whom are just not good people. Do you guys remember when like that PR guy, I think his name was like Shane something, like when the trial was happening and she had this guy Shane and his company come in, think he was about to do this, that, and other, and then quickly the receipts started coming out that he was harassing women and doing crazy shit with dating, and he just was all types of fucking weird, creepy, doing the most, just not somebody you would want to be in any types of way connected to, yet she is. And now there is another person, Mr. Dan Wooten, in which she is connected to, who is just awful. So we'll get into that too. Those are the crazy things I kind of wanted to talk about, because I'm just like, Carlee, please don't make it be what it is, because people were already from the jump saying it was some bullshit, and like all the jokes that I'm seeing out here, I'm like, ugh, this is like a Sherry Papini. I don't know if you guys know about Sherry Papini, but Sherry Papini was married, right? I think she had kids or whatnot, but she was married, and why does she decide, oh, I'm gonna go on a jog? And she acts like she was kidnapped, left the phone, the headphones and everything all laid out on the ground like she had been kidnapped. People looking for her, you know, whole searches going on. Money, time, energy, emotions spent. Her husband's worried, what's going on? Whole time it's found out because she appears just down a road, like all dirty and bruised up and everything. And this woman pulls over and she's like, what the fuck, do you need help? She's like flagging down people. So they let her loose. But it comes out that the person who actually got her was an ex-boyfriend of hers, and they planned it together because she had told the ex-boyfriend that her current husband was like abusive or something like that. So she was trying to get away. So she literally made the markings on herself, starved herself to be skinny, cut her hair, I think, branded herself, like did all this shit fraudulently, acting like she was kidnapped, and she was not. So it's sounding a little Sherry Papini-ish, and I'm really kind of annoyed, but I'm trying to reserve my judgment because maybe mentally there was something just not right there. I haven't seen the malicious aspect of it, like people like AH just lying because of this, that, and other, knowing that it's not true. It is similar, but you know, the maliciousness, I don't know, is there. I think she was just very overwhelmed. Shit was going on in her relationship. Not saying I condone it, because it really does cause issues when you make false claims for other people, but there's something going on there, so we'll get into it. Okay, so I will say, maybe I'm reflecting, I'm a little biased, because I've definitely been there. Like, when you just feel like everything is fucked and you just want to disappear and go away and tell nobody and just go away because you're just overwhelmed and you just want to disappear. I've been there. I've never done it because I know my mom, you know, specifically would be out on the hunt, and I would never want to do that to my family or worry them or, you know, anything like that. So has stopped me. But of course, I've had the feeling of just wanting to up and just disappear and say fuck it to it all. But because of them, I've never done that. And luckily, I'm not in that space anymore. Things, you know, get better as you just live life, thankfully. But I get it. So I guess what I want to see, because there was a press conference yesterday with the police and everything, on the 19th, today is the 20th, there was a press conference. And I have this article up here. This is The Cut. I think is that by Washington Post? Something like that, but it's The Cut. And pretty much they're giving a summary of what happened in the police press conference and what they were able to reveal to the public at this time. So unfortunately, the police have not been able to verify Carlee Russell's story, okay? On July 19th, Police Chief Derzis said in a news conference that detectives had only interviewed Russell once, briefly after she returned home. So you know, an interview after somebody has just had a traumatic experience, they don't linger, you know, like it's a quick, you know, what happened, just give us a quick rundown, and then they get out because they need to let people have their space and just come to terms with what happened, and then they'll revisit later once things have settled a little. So they have only interviewed her once, and that's after like everything, I guess, since this press conference yesterday. They've only talked to her one time. So they talked to her briefly after she returned home the one time. During that conversation, she allegedly claimed to have been taken by a man who appeared from the woods after she approached a toddler. The man picked her up, she told police, and made her go over a fence and forced her into the car. After that, she somehow wound up in the back of an 18-wheeler truck. That is terrifying. But it's also terrifying if this is not true. It's just it's such a afflicted situation. Oh my gosh. Russell believed there was a man and woman in the truck based on the voices coming from the front seat. Dara said she also said she could hear a baby crying. So I guess that would be the toddler that had lured her. Russell claimed to have escaped from the truck, but it doesn't say how she escaped, but she escaped from the truck, but reportedly said she was recaptured, then taken by car to a house where her alleged kidnappers forced her to undress. She reportedly expressed concerns that these people took pictures of her naked body, but didn't remember any physical or sexual contact. Dearest told the reporters. After holding her overnight, her alleged captors put her back in the car. That's when she said she escaped a second time, running through the woods until she eventually reached her neighborhood. Now, this is interesting, and this is where I'm having questions. So she escaped out of the 18-wheeler. Like, when I'm thinking an 18-wheeler, and I'm thinking they said they put her in the back of the 18-wheeler and forced her, she somehow wound up in the back of the 18-wheeler, they have, like, them doors, right? Them big-ass doors, and they can, like, lock down. So for her to have escaped out of that, they must not have secured it or whatever. So maybe they were in a rush at that point. But then apparently they took her car to a house. Then she was there for a day or whatever. They did all this shit to her, put her in another car, and she escaped that car. How? Like, these kidnappers are literal idiots. If they're really in the job of, like, trying to kidnap somebody, you would make sure your doors are locked. If that's what you're doing, like a fucking nut. But it's just interesting that she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and she was able to escape the car. And then she was running through the woods and she eventually reached her neighborhood. So that means she had to have been somewhat in the area of where she lived. But they picked her up off of the side of the road, right? And then he forced her, so maybe where they picked her up at, she was close to home. So where they took her to this house had to be in the vicinity of her neighborhood, right? Because the car was taking her. Unless the car was trying to take her back home, how the fuck is she running through the woods and then eventually reaches her neighborhood? Like, I don't know about y'all, but if I'm running through the woods, I'm in the woods at all, I don't know I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to literally die. Like, I don't know. Everything is going to look the same. What direction am I going? What? How was she able to make it through the woods and get to her neighborhood? It's very questionable. So I see why people have questions with this story, and seeing as the police haven't been able to verify it. It's a sad situation. I do not want this for us because because shit is happening. There is trafficking. There are crazy people fucking kidnapping and taking people off the side of the fucking road to never be seen again. That shit's happening, and we need, for what happened with Carlee, with the attention via social media and everything on the news, we need that same type of thing to continue to happen. But when shit like this happens, it makes it hard. It's like I hate this. Okay, let me stop. So she eventually reached her neighborhood. In the press conference, Dara said that the detectives have not been able to verify Russell's story. They said they have not found evidence of a missing child, nor did they receive any other phone calls about a toddler on the interstate, despite several cars driving along the road at the same time. Their investigation shows that while on the phone with the dispatcher, Russell would have been following the child for a distance equivalent to the length of 6 football fields. To think that a toddler barefoot that could be 3 or 4 could travel 6 football fields without getting in the roadway, without crying, is very hard for me to understand, Darius, the police chief, said. That's true, because no child was heard, like, on the police call or anything. And I guess she asked the child, like, are they okay? But they didn't really hear a response from the child. Darius added that Russell's internet search history turned up a number of very strange entries on the days and hours leading up to her disappearance. She apparently looked up whether or not people have to pay for Amber Alerts. It's not looking good. And if there's a maximum age for such notices. She also wanted to know how to take money out of a register without getting caught, and looked for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville for the date that she went missing. Oh, Lord. A one-way ticket? She was trying to get the hell out of town. She was trying to get the hell out of town. She was trying to get away. She was trying to leave. She was trying to get away from something. Something was happening, and she was trying to make an escape. She also Googled the movie Taken. Oh my gosh. About a father who searches for his daughter after her kidnapping by a ring of human traffickers. Oh my God, I remember first watching Taken. I think that's Liam Neeson. That was a good movie. But she didn't looked up dang on Taken. Oh God. It's not good. This does not look good. I'm happy that she's home. I'm happy that she's, you know, somewhat healthy and safe. But I hope that they get her some help, maybe a therapist to talk to, something. I don't know if any charges are going to be made from this. This is shitty. This is very, very shitty. The investigation is not over, so they're still going with it. They're going to figure out what the fuck's going on. They're going to, if she doesn't want to talk, they're going to talk to people around her. I already saw that the place she used to work at, Woodhouse Spa or something like that, some spa she used to work at, they made a statement themselves. Like, so they're talking to the people around her. I saw her parents do a press conference. They did like an interview. I think it was yesterday or the day before. But they were saying very much so like something happened. So I don't know if at this point on 7/20, if the real story, if Carlee has told the real story to her parents and to the police. But as of yesterday, the police are saying they can't verify any of this shit. And it's very strange. And I will say these searches are very strange. The investigation is not over, but police would like to speak with Russell again. So I wonder in a situation like that, like, can they force you to speak or does she have a choice to speak? Because, I mean, it was all on the internet. There was a search and rescue effort. There was all this stuff done. So they can't just be like, oh, you're found. Wipe our hands of it. Bye. It doesn't work that way. Like, you're still going to have to, like, deal with it. And I don't know if Carlee, like, thought it through all the way like that. You're still gonna have to deal with it. So like now, can you get criminal charges because you've made a false report? It's just, I don't think she thought it all the way. I don't know what she was thinking, but she didn't think it all the way through. So they want to talk to her again. Dara says their request has not been granted. So what, they just gonna be like, no, we're just not ever going to talk to you? Like, I don't know if that's allowed. There are so many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers, he noted. Damn. So it sounds like it's some mess, y'all. It sounds like it's some mess. It sounds fishy. It sounds sketchy. And I'm just hoping that Carlee gets the help that she needs and wanted. I think there was definitely something going on. Like I said, there was all these rumors about possibly her boyfriend had cheated and, you know, they broke up and she was feeling like very overwhelmed and just a lot. And I don't know. I hope she's okay, but I definitely think that whatever was going on prior that made her want to do this to begin with, shit's about to get even worse because now she has the law involved, and who wants to have the fucking law involved with anything concerning you? Like, it's just not fun at all. So hopefully she gets the help she needs because, oh my goodness, wow. So we know Dan Wooten, you know, and Johnny were in a case with the NGN group because they were just being so nasty, so rude, so vile, so vicious in the media with this whole situation with him and AH. And it's defamation, which is now proven. They love to bring up the UK trial. Like, please shut up. Like, shut all the way the hell up, because now your guy Dan Wooten is in hot water, which is weird because I just visited his Twitter page, right? And he's still got a job. He's still working. He's still up there talking about some guy, Neil, and the unfair justification, whatever the fuck, working on, I think, GB News, something like that. He's still working. He still has a job, although he has been claimed to have been asking for, hold on, I got a text. This man has been accused of offering money to some of his coworkers and people for sexual, like, images and shit like that. It's just like, is your game that whack that you can't go out like a normal fucking human being and just, like, get a fucking date. Like, I mean, looking at you, I can tell it would be hard. It would be very, very, very hard. Because who wants to wake up to that? Ew. And so the fact that you're having to offer large sums of money to get sexual pictures just shows how sad of a man you are, because there are people who get pictures and pics, cute pics all day long from their people for free, because you know what? They're good people. While you have to pay money to try to get those things because nobody wants to deal with you because you're nasty. Nasty. Just nasty. I just went through that article he wrote last year. What's the damn headline? I just saw this article that he wrote last year in April. Last year. In April. Prior to like... The first statement, after dragging my ass through... He wrote this article on the Daily Mail. After dragging my ass through the high court for 2 years, which resulted in a humiliating loss for him, the complete vindication for me, I genuinely intended to never talk about Johnny Depp again, but then proceeds to go write a whole freaking article about him. This man is nasty. And the stuff that's come out about him is nasty. And I think that I'm sick of people doing shit like this, a la like freaking Colleen Ballinger, and just like getting away with it, not having to address it, not losing their jobs, but let somebody else do that shit. Let somebody else do that shit. It's gonna be a whole motherfucking thing. But this man is still sitting up with his job. How is that possible? How is that okay? What he wrote in his article about Johnny, I actually feel sorry for the former Hollywood icon who has become a pathetic excuse of a man. Well, he's no longer former. He just debuted at Cannes. He has movies fucking working. He's doing tours. He's everywhere. He did a damn fashion show with the Rihanna, while you, pathetic man, are being outed to be asking for fucking sexual pictures for money. Well, you were paying people for sexual pictures. That's pathetic. The nerve of you to call Johnny pathetic. A man with whom did absolutely nothing to you. Nothing. People get on my nerves, and eventually karma's gonna start clocking. They're gonna start clocking them all. It's gonna start clocking them all. We're not gonna have to do anything. It's just gonna start fucking happening, because that's ridiculous. To call Johnny pathetic when you're sitting up looking the way that you look and acting the way that you look, Dan Wooten? For real. For pathetic? Since you wanna call people pathetic, Dan Wooten, let's look into really what pathetic people do. So I found this article. It was posted by Black Girl Magic. Thank you very much. News UK. This is The Guardian. News UK hires lawyers to look at claims against former Sun columnist Dan Wooten, accused of offering Sun colleagues tens of thousands of pounds for sexual material. Tens of thousands of pounds? Dan, it's that serious. You were real about it. You was needing them pics. Something was clogged up, Dan Wooten. Like, what the fuck? Tens of thousands of dollars. Just tragic. Like, that's pathetic. Like, that's as pathetic as you can get. Like, what are you? The Sun's parent company has hired external lawyers to help investigate very serious allegations regarding Dan Wooten's time at the tabloid, The Guardian has been told. Wooten is facing allegations he used a pseudonym to secretly offer current and former Sun colleagues tens of thousands of pounds in return for sexual material. Disgusting. Like, okay, if you wanted to do that outside of work, you know, get on OnlyFans or something like that, okay, that's your fucking business. But why are you bringing this ratchetness to work, Dan Wooten? Like, pathetic. 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 Rupert Murdoch's News UK asked staff to contact its most senior lawyer if they have any information regarding the claims. They promised that all information would be treated in confidence, offered counseling services to anyone affected, and asked employees not to talk to journalists while inquiries were underway. Employees were told, so there's an investigation going on, but this man has a job. They ain't put him on a suspension, they ain't did shit. The matters reported are obviously very serious and include allegations that certain actions of Mr. Wooten may have affected some members of staff at the Sun. So you're affecting people. You're affecting people. You sat up and wrote that whole motherfucking article on Johnny, but you're asking people for sexual fucking pictures of themselves and wanting to give them money. And what? People talk way too fucking much. And you're affecting people, you're hurting people, you're harming people, damn Wooten, continuously. A source at News UK said the company has also employed external legal counsel to advise and assist with its investigation. Wooten also writes a regular column for Mail Online, which usually appears on Mondays and Thursdays. The company has said it's looking into the allegations against the presenter and would not comment on whether it would continue to publish his writings. Disgusting. Wooten remains on GB News, right, like I just saw on his Twitter, where he delivered a 6-minute monologue responding to the claims on Tuesday. He admitted errors of judgment in the past, but while telling viewers he was the victim of a witch hunt driven by dark forces intent on shutting down GB News. Man, shut up. You just said that you had errors, which means you fucking did it. You did it. And now you're saying that it's a witch hunt because you got exposed and found the fuck out. That's why it's a witch hunt, because you're exposed. You wanted to expose and out everybody else's fucking shit, Meghan and Harry's fucking shit, per William. You want to expose Johnny's fucking shit, and now because your shit's being exposed, oh my god, it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt. Dark forces are out to get me. No, they're calling you out on your bullshit, and the fact that you still have a job is ridiculous. On GB News and Mail Online. If they keep publishing his shit after all the shit that he's doing, how are you going to sit up and talk mad shit about other people in articles when your shit is the way it is? I can't. The Guardian, so he denied anything. Oh my god, witch hunt, blah, blah, blah. The presenter denied any illegal behavior, but he did not directly address whether he had ever sent emails using the name Martin Bramming. It is claimed that this is his pseudonym, which was used during Wooten's time at the Sun to approach many serving informal Sun employees with the offer of 5-figure sums in return for performing sexual acts on camera. The fucking nerve of you to write a motherfucking coworker and type up and write and ask even to fix your mouth for someone to do sexual acts on a camera for your benefit. You can't get anything else, Dan Wooten? For real? You were that desperate? That pathetic? Ugh. Disgusting. Oh my god. Like, large sums. So Wooten's ex-boyfriend has publicly linked the TV presenter to Bramming. So he was maybe in a relationship at this time where he was doing all of this. And the ex has publicly linked the TV presenter to this pseudonym name. Wooten has not denied these allegations. The Guardian has not been able to independently establish a link between Branning and Wooten. Wooten confronted the claims based head-on a Tuesday night, blaming the ex-boyfriend with an axe to grind, of course, and suggesting social media and the cancel culture had amplified the allegations. No, you're a fucked up person. You already doing fucked up shit, talking mad fucking trash. Now that your shit's exposed, of course people are gonna have something to say about it because you had something to say about everybody else. That's just how it fucking works. Like, Wendy Williams got it. She would talk about everybody in the fucking world, but people would talk about her shit. She understood. That's the gig. How's she gonna be mad when she was talking about everybody else's shit? He said, if like all fallible human beings have made errors in judgment in the past, but criminal allegations being made against me are simply untrue. Well, first of all, a lot of jobs, if you were doing this on job premises and to colleagues, a lot of jobs have sexual what is it, sexual conduct policies, right? Where that shit is not allowed. It's and it can get legal. So yeah, while people make errors in life, all people aren't out asking their colleagues to send them videos of them in sexual acts for large sums of money. So no. Ugh, enough about Disgusto. Like, I'm so over him. I do want to talk about a little bit good news, because I did just see via the Castle Art Gallery that Johnny has released his portraits. He did a self-portrait. Let me find it, and I'll try to post it here so you guys can see it if you haven't. So he's done a self-portrait. The wait is over. So this is about 4 hours ago. Today, Johnny Depp debuts 5, his deeply personal self-portrait, as an exclusive time-limited edition, available exclusively from Castle Fine Art for 13 days only. It is a very nice, like, I don't even understand, like, I'm trying to, like, get into, like, drawing and stuff, but Johnny is an artiste. Like, he's an artiste. Like, he does art, like, whether it's the acting, the music, the painting, the poetry, the writing, he's an artist. He's creative as fuck. And he's just so talented looking at this. And apparently it was marked off a Dior campaign. That was his reference for it. And I think he did so good. Like, I love how he has the little sweeps of hair coming down on his eyes. And I love, like, the penetrating, like, stare his eyes have. I love it. It looks so good. But also, if you see over here, it has marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is meaningful. And I'll share with you what Johnny has to say about that, because he did write a little, there's a little memento that goes along with it. So this image, 5, captures the emotional exhaustion Johnny was feeling when he completed the artwork in 2021. Okay, we know where that was. As he was about to enter the 5th year of a very difficult period of his life. He added the 5 tally mark annotation in recognition of this moment in time. The original reference for the art is a still from a shoot for Dior Sauvage, directed by Jean-Baptiste Maldonado. Probably butchered that. Johnny chose this particular image in honor of Dior and the loyalty they have always shown him. Loyalty! To Johnny, the image symbolizes the importance of truth, the steadfast support of those who remain close to you during the challenging times, and don't just turn their fucking back like everybody the fuck else. Dior has stood beside him. If the piece resonates with even just one person, this art has purpose, says Johnny. Traditionally being seen as the form in which many artists have come to be remembered by, self-portraits offer insights not only into the artist's life, surroundings, and artistic ideas, but also into the state of their mind. So, like, I do see, like, when looking at the picture, it's very, like, let me bring it back up. Wait, where'd it go? It's very, like, lines, very, like, lines everywhere that are all, like, connecting. And I think that there is definitely some symbolism there, because there was just so much going on. Lines and lines of confusion, just so much. But it kind of hones in on his face, and it, like, makes this composite, like, my words are just, like, I'm not able to explain, but, like, I do see what he's trying to convey. I definitely see it. Why did I just lose that? Hold on. Because I wanted to finish reading it. Wanted to finish reading it. Wanted to finish reading it. Ooh. Here we go. Okay. When creating a self-portrait, the artist represents his psychological features as well as his emotions, bringing out a feeling that allows the viewer to see the subject's character. The feeling the art expresses gains a new meaning, acting as a mirror and a window to give thought to our own mental health and the health of those around us. In turn, for every print sold, 200 will go directly to Mental Health America. Wow. A leading community-based nonprofit charity dedicated to the promotion of mental health, well-being, and illness prevention. An organization which Johnny describes as a wonderful facility and an extremely deserving cause. They're doing a lot of great work there. Yes. And mental health is so important in this world. Like, so many things could be avoided if we all paid attention more to our mental health. And also, if mental health services, therapy, you know, all that was more easily accessible for everybody and wasn't so fucking expensive and all this, that, and the other. And insurance paid for it more, and that there's so much. But mental health is so important, and I think that he did such a great job with this piece. And I just clicked, there's like a queue for you to get in to even see. But it is going on for 13 days. And I just think that it's great. And the fact that he was able to make this picture with all that in mind, it's beautiful that he was able to make something out of it, but also it's really sad that he was exhausted emotionally and he was ticking off the years, like, how much longer am I have to go through this bullshit because of this crazed woman and everybody else a la damn Wooten doing the fucking most, being horrible. And now here we are 2 years later, AH proven a liar, Dan Wooten trying to pay people for sexual videos. And Johnny's on stage doing movies, doing his damn thing, moving on with life. Gotta love it. Got to effing love it. The person who's pathetic in this situation is you, Mr. Dan Wooten. Well, Johnny is out releasing artwork. He just released another release of artwork, self-portrait, putting out music, performing, putting out movies, actual art, positive things into the world, beauty and love out into the world, to give people something to listen to look at, to watch, to better themselves. What you're doing, Mr. Dan Woo, is spreading vile and vicious, nasty and rude rhetoric out to the public and think, oh, when something happens towards me, oh my God, oh my God. No, you're the pathetic one, Dan Wooten. You're pathetic. And all this shit that's coming out, I don't know how you still have a job, but your karma's coming, because it's unnecessary how you talked about someone you don't know. You don't know Johnny. You didn't need to talk about him the way you talked about him in that damn article. I don't know if you guys have seen that article, but oh my God. Horrible. Horrible. And that's pathetic. That's trash. So that's my last feelings on it, and I'll leave it at that. Regardless of all that craziness, I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. Think about liking, think about subscribing. If not, I completely understand, but I'll see you guys a little bit later. Bye.